Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to talk to Saora. What is your last name, please?
Tutundzic.
It's a beautiful name, but very difficult. Thank you for saying that. And tell me a little bit about the beginning of your career. How did you decide to become a musician, a pianist?
So I was 8 years old when my dad first took me to a classical music concert at our local theater. And I still remember the first time that I heard the piano. I fell in love with the sound. It was just so rich and thrilling and expressing. And what fascinates me most about piano is that it's an instrument that can create all of the harmonies, melodies, and rhythms all by itself. It doesn't need any other instrument for the sound to be full. It tells you the whole story by itself.
That's true. All the great composers were pianists. So you can have almost like an orchestra playing all the registers, and you can compose really well if you use a piano, right? It's a complete instrument.
Yes.
And what are your favorite composers? Inspiration? Do you have a favorite one?
Well, in my music school, I have played works by a lot of composers from different parts of the world. But so I've played like Bach, Chopin, even some Latin American composers like Piazzolla. But my absolute favorite is Tchaikovsky. I just like the way he conveys emotion through his pieces, for me, is personally amazing. And I just admire his harmonies. I have played some pieces from his, some movements from his seasons, like June, October, and April. And his piece that I like the most is the B flat minor concerto. It's just so beautiful and it has a special place in my heart. It tells like it's so unforgettable and heartfelt and just it's amazing. Yeah.
Tchaikovsky is an amazing composer and
Yes.
very technical. And how do you improve your technique on the piano? Do you have a routine of studies?
Yeah, so there is a quote said by a famous pianist, Arthur Rubinstein, and he said, "If I don't play one day, I will notice it. If I don't play for 2 days, my teacher will notice it. But if I don't play for 3 days, the public will notice it." So I personally believe that quantity breeds quality. If you want to be a successful interpreter, if you want other people to enjoy your music, you have to enjoy the quality time that you're going to spend practicing, and the more focused time that you invest in your instruments and in your music, the better results you will get. And my routine involves daily, hourly practices that include warm ups and like technical exercises such as scales and arpeggios and working on both new and old programs. And then I also listen to professional recordings and I also reflect on my own personal interpretations.
And what tips or recommendations would you give to a person is starting with music or just learning music to become a professional musician?
So I first of all, you have to fall in love with the music. You have to sacrifice a lot of things. For example, I love to do sports like volleyball and uh, tennis and ice skating. But then sometimes you have to be prepared to leave the things that you love aside. My hands are very important to me, and I cannot risk to play something and hit a ball and then my finger will get hurt. So, but then also you have to enjoy the entire process, not only the performance, but also, the whole entire sometimes it's really tiring. You're wondering, oh, how am I supposed to do this? But then at the end of the day, when you work really hard and then you know what you're working for, at the end, it all turns out to be really great. Yeah.
Sounds amazing. And music is a language, right?
Yeah.
How important it is for a musician to learn another language? You speak really well English and your mother tongue also, right?
Yes.
But how important is it to learn English for a musician to become international?
Mm. I think that languages in today's world and in the music world are very important because you meet if you're a concert pianist, if you are an interpreter, and then you travel a lot. So you meet other people, you meet other cultures, other traditions. So language helps you connect not only socially but also professionally. Many great works and musical commentaries are written in languages that are not always translated. So it's very helpful that you know as many languages as possible. And knowing different languages, from my personal experience, opens up totally new perspectives. And then with those new languages, you can immerse yourself in, like totally in the music world.
That's amazing. And you're a very young musician. Tell us a little bit about the dreams you can share for the future, your plans for your career.
Well, I think the best part about my dream is that I have already someone really close to me living it. That's my professor, Saora Tutundzic. She's the best. She's my piano teacher, and she is a professional pianist who travels all over the world, and it's so amazing seeing someone who's so great at what they do, kind of going everywhere and experiencing everything. And I hope one day that I'll be able to do the same, to share my love for music, to experience other cultures, all other traditions, learn some new languages. And I know that you live in Brazil. And I would really like to visit Brazil one day. I'm just fascinated by the people, the culture, the language is just so amazing. And, I feel like it would be great if I get to perform there one day. So, yeah.
That will be amazing because we need a lot of art in times like this. And you will be very welcome in Brazil, you and your family. I hope to see you playing a concert very soon. Who knows? Well, when you have a new piece to perform, how do you deal with, do you prepare, do you study the score and then go to the piano? How do you prepare yourself for a new concert?
So I personally go straight for the score, but before that, I like to listen to the piece, performed by a professional, and then I feel like then I could get into the mood to actually start reading the score because at first it's hard. if you have if you have a difficult piece, you know, it can be like, ooh, wait, am I ready? But then if you go slowly and if you actually are interested in doing everything the way it's supposed to be, then over time uh, it's going to get more easy. So, you know, it's perfect. You know, just take it slow and steady and everything will be okay.
Good. So that's true. When you play slow and increase the speed and put in all the elements that are necessary for interpretation, it gets easier, let's say, because in the repertoire, there's nothing easy, right?
Yes, yes,
No composer was easy, but if you, is that truth that when you study slowly and respect the composition, you get better?
yes. But I personally, so I like to do the technique first. So my fingers are really good at what they do at the composition. And then at the end, then the dynamic, the rhythm, you know, I feel, and the tone, it's all at the end. So at almost every pianist and, you know, first does the technique. So they get really good at it. And then the other things, they are also as much as important as technique, but technique is also the hardest one. So that's why it's the most one important to do. And if you know the technique, if you know how to do it right, then everything else will just come by hand.
Fantastic. And if you had to define arts with a few words and or a phrase, how would you define it? It's a very difficult challenge because arts are very important, but what does it
Yeah.
mean to you?
I think in today's world, in today's society, I think that arts are not appreciated enough, unfortunately. And, you know, it's sad to see how, in one way, people don't care about it and they appreciate other things that are not as hard to do and not as interesting to listen or to watch. And that, you know, that is really sad. But I think we should try to, obviously, it will always stay. Art will always stay. But I think we should just really try to focus on it more. And if we, you know, I come from the Balkan Peninsula, and here, music and art in general is not as appreciated as it would be somewhere in like the Western Europe, and you know, which is unfortunate. But thank God there are a lot of young musicians, young artists who are really working hard to prove that sentence wrong. So, you know, I feel like with the young people and just people who care about arts, everything is going to be all right.
Thank you very much for being here with us, for sharing your beautiful work. I wish you all the success in the world and hope to see you in Brazil someday.
Yes, I hope so too.